Good morning. Okay. Anyway, whatever. Morning, night, afternoon, it is good. It's, wonderful thing that all of you are here. And all of you are here, I feel, with some expectations. Aren't you? And maybe some of you have problems. Maybe some of you don't know that you have problems. But I assure you, everybody has problems. Anybody here who doesn't have problems? I think only dead people don't have problems. Or at least we don't know their problems. But this is one thing that I have believed in my life and I have experienced. And I want to tell you, there is no problem in this life which cannot be solved. And there is no relationship which cannot be worked out. Impossible. The problem is when we give up finding the solution to the problem. I'll tell you, some time back, maybe a few years back, there was an incident in Bombay dockyard. Anybody from Mumbai here? Okay. Anybody visited Mumbai dockyard? It's a nice place, So one naval ship had docked there. And there was fire on board. So a lot of water is available. People were enthusiastic. So they pumped water. The problem is they pumped so much water that the ship sank. Isn't it sad? See, the water which was supposed to put off the fire and save the ship actually caused the ship to sink. Remember one thing. Water outside the boat will never sink the boat. Correct? Only when the water gets inside the boat. The problem, bigger than the problem, is always our attitude towards the problem. See, I'm not here to talk to you about the problems, but I'm here to talk to you about some solution which has changed my life. I went through a very, very rough youth. Rough ante, everything was there. Only thing, I chose a wrong path. I was a good boy till my intermediate 2. Okay. But when I passed my intermediate 2 and joined medical college, then my whole life became rough. What happened actually is, I was involved into everything except studies. Okay, you name it, I was in it. All those things, what I realized, it gives you pleasure for some time, but when the reality strikes you, then you are completely flat on the ground, not having a clue what to do, where to go. I wanted to commit suicide at that moment. But thank God I met Jesus, that changed my life. But that's another thing. But my whole thing is, why do we get into wrong paths? Why do you think? Instant pleasure. Advance? Attraction, yeah. Attraction towards the pleasure. I remember my first cigarette, okay? I hope nobody smokes here. I mean, nothing wrong to hope, right? You can hope that the dollar may come down to 20 rupees. Nothing wrong to hope. So, I remember my friends were smoking a very attractive cigarette. Okay? I don't want to tell the brand. Nice, expensive looking cigarette. I was not attracted towards the smoke. I was attracted towards the way that cigarette light. No, it was more. Okay? So, that's how I took my first puff. It's a different kind of... See, the thing is, what attracts you could be different than what attracts someone else. Okay? But, yeah, those are the reasons. Then what else? That takes us to a wrong path. What else? Company, see, that's one, company does influence. But actually, you get company just like you. Peer pressure. Yeah, you want to fit in. Lifestyle. What else? Yeah, that is one big thing. We want to imitate somebody. I remember. Pardon? Trying to influence by someone. See, what happened is recently my son broke his iPhone. Okay. So we wanted to get the screen replaced. So I went to one guy in Jagdish Market. So that guy said, "Sir, you want first copy or second copy?" I said, "What do you mean by that?" He said, "First copy is the direct copy of the original. The second copy is the copy of a copy." It's a copy. One biggest problem is that copying somebody can never get the best. The original is always the best. As you said, trying to copy like someone. One movie of this junior NTR came with that beard. After that, you would see everybody with that beard. Then that this came. You see everybody doing like this. You know what? We want to always copy, and trying to copy, we forget the original. Yeah, that is one thing. What else? See, again the question comes, why do you want to copy? Okay. So what else? Attracts many. We want attention of the people. Yeah, that's also true. Huh? Okay, that's very philosophical, great. But I'll tell you one major important thing, people get into wrong tracks in their life, which leads to failure, is because they really don't know where they want to go. That's the biggest problem. I always ask this question. If God stands right in front of you, and tells you, tell me any top 10 things you want in your life, I'll give. I guarantee, if I give you 2 minutes, how many of you can write 10 things that you want? No, you try. 10 top things. You will not get anything other than that. It is very difficult. I tried. And you know what I realized is, as much as we don't know where we want to go, many times we really don't know what exactly we want in life. I'll tell you what we want in life. Okay, what do you think? The topmost thing you want in life? Happy? What else? Peace? Money? Pardon? Achieve goals? Fame? I'll tell you, what you actually want is satisfaction. Correct? Some are satisfied with money. Some are satisfied with fame. I don't remember who was this singer who said, one last time I want to go and hear the applause of the people. See, for him, what would satisfy is no more money. It's that appreciation of the people. See, what is he looking for actually? Satisfaction. I'll tell you, most of the time, I asked somebody who offered me a drink. He said, "Arey pilo bhai, kya hota?" I mean, I used to drink long back, but recent days. "Arey kya hota kuch?" I said, "Kai ko pee rahe bhai?" "Acha lagta." मैं बोला, मेरे को पिए बगैर भी अच्छा लगता. Correct, no? See, why he wants to drink? To feel good. But I feel good without. Because what satisfies me, I found. I'll tell you, when you find what can really satisfy you, your life will change. Have you, I'll tell you, one of my friends, I should not tell the name, he has a strange hobby of having some exotic birds and animals at home. So by chance, he got a small eagle and kept it in a cage. Can you imagine that eagle in the cage? That eagle began to grow big. I mean, it's to give good food and all. That, began to... next to that cage, there were some other birds. And he said, I don't know how, but eagle would attract those birds close to him and catch and kill and eat. And that eagle started to be violent. And that eagle was so, kind of self-destructive. Because flapping the wings against that cage would hurt itself. And then somebody advised and said that you have kept a wrong bird in the cage. Or rather, he said, you have kept that eagle in a right place. In a wrong place. So one fine day, he opened the cage. Eagle walked out and just turned to him. Actually, he got scared because, it's a strong bird. And then they looked up and flied. He said, it looked so happy flying. My wife, she grew up in a village. She had many pets. And one of the pets was a duck. Okay? And, she loved that duck, always carried that duck and fed that duck very well. But that duck had never swam. Had never seen water because always at home. And that she began to see that duck is suddenly became introvert and just kind of putting itself in a shell and hiding somewhere and sitting, didn't know what to do. So one person advised, teach your duck to swim. Now my question is, do you need to teach swimming to a duck? What do you need? Just put it in the water. And the moment she took that duck to a house of another friends who had a pond, the moment that duck touched the water, it was as if the joy exploded and began to swim and began to enjoy. And that sad duck became a happy duck. Why? Satisfaction. Now, why do you think that satisfied the duck? What you said? Natural habitat. What you said? Nature. See, let me put it in a different words. The duck was meant to swim. So two things. Because the duck was meant to swim, you don't need to teach swimming to the duck. Do you think fish go to swimming class? No. Why? You see, that swimming is inside of them. Birds, do they need to go for flying lessons? No. Why? Because flight is in them. So, when they do what they are made or what they are made for, they are happy and satisfied. Have you seen a bird, if he has to go from one building to another building, making an attempt to get down the stairs and just walk? It becomes hard. See, how many of you want to be satisfied in life? Anybody? Don't think satisfied means you have reached your, potential. It doesn't happen like that. Satisfied people, they will be continuously growing. For example, this guy, Elon Musk. Do you think he does anything for money? Does he need to do anything for money? Now, for him, it is more about satisfaction. I want to be satisfied in what I am doing. So I do not mind investing my money. I do not mind investing my time because this is what gives me satisfaction. You know, in life, my dear friends, many times we are so confused with what people tell us about ourselves that we really don't know who we are. Really don't know who we are. You know, some of the people, you know, like for example, Sachin Tendulkar, okay? Doesn't it look like he was just born to play cricket? Doesn't it look like from his game? Don't you think cricket is in him? Isn't it? You know, one of my close friends is friends with Sachin Tendulkar, and he tells that whenever I go to his house, Sachin's house, he says there is no other topic than cricket. Nothing else. See, he lives cricket, he kind of breathes cricket. That is what actually satisfies him. I'll tell you, my dear friends, one of the most important things that you need to be satisfied and happy in life is a goal. Now, goal, there are some people, they set goals by themselves. See, 31st January, everybody sets a goal. I don't know how many of you, but I did. And none of these goals I ever met. Oh, ek do din ki kahani. Khatam, bhul jate. But there are certain goals in my life which I did not set on 31st of December, but they were there in my heart right from my childhood. I have never forgotten them. Never. I don't mind investing my money, my time, my energy, everything I have into that. Because that is what I am created to do. You know, for example, I'll tell you. Let us say, example, this cover. Okay? Now, before it came in my hand, where do you think it was? Shop? Before the shop? Factory. Before the factory? Before that? Before that? I mean, yeah, nature, of course, material will be in the nature. I'll tell you, before that, it was in the mind of somebody. Now, what do you think that person would be thinking? I want to make a cover with the leather which can host or wherein people can put in their spectacles. Okay? So, he designed and he made. Right? Now, remember one thing. Before he put everything together, the material was there. Before he put everything together, he knew what he is making it for. See, if a leather cover has to be made for a phone, it would be different, right? If the leather cover has to be made for something else, it would be different. You know, if it is to be meant to keep the money and this thing, it would be different. The raw material is the same. But one who brought it out as a product, he first thought what he wants to do, the purpose. And then to meet that purpose, he created the product. Am I right? To meet the purpose, he created the product. Now, I can use it for many things. Okay? I mean, I'm using it for my pen also. Okay? I can use it as a paperweight, can I? When the papers are flying, I can use it to scratch. If I'm angry with you, can I? Usse kuch lagta nahi, but just to show my anger, I can use. But if I use for everything in it, and I do not put my spectacles, what would you call that product? Useless. Why? Simply because it has not fulfilled the purpose for which it was made. You know, God also, when He created you, I mean, I believe in creation. There could be people who believe in evolution. Can I tell a joke? Okay. One day, one child came to his father and asked his father, Daddy, Daddy, where did we come from? Daddy said, God created us. Then he said, but Mummy told that we came from apes. That's her side of the family. Thank God that's not our side of the family. You know, I mean, see, as a doctor, when you look at the body, I'm telling you, it is so amazing. You know, hands. Our hands are so special. No other animal, bird, or anybody has this kind of action. So, you know, fine and beautiful things it can do. It cannot be an accident. It cannot be an accident. It is created, it is made with a purpose. Even if you see the chemical reaction, you know, when a muscle acts, hundreds and thousands of chemical reactions are taking place. It is such a complicated action. There is something called as actinomycin, myosin, you know, they are hooked with each other. There is pulling, there is pushing. Oh my God, there are so many things happening. It cannot be an accident. It would be like, you know, on a cement factory, a bomb falls and a building rises up. Is it possible? No. It has to be, there has to be an architect who has a plan. There has to be, hands, skillful hands that put the bricks together, and all those things are needed. How much more complicated is our human body? You know, my dear friends, remember, the moment you think you are simply evolved from a primordial soup or from whatever they call that, you know what that means is there is no purpose in your life. You just live and die. But when you begin to realize that you are created, there is a whole different perspective to your life. And this is what I have realized. Every single human being who has ever come on the face of the earth has a very specific purpose to fulfill. Very specific purpose to fulfill. Nobody is useless. Nobody is useless. Nobody is useless. Everybody is useful in the world, and everybody has a unique purpose that nobody else in this world can fulfill. You need to realize that. And the whole problem now is about finding out that purpose. You know, some of the people I know, you know, they just throw some colors on a paper and it looks beautiful. Have you seen people like that? They just do it. It's just in them. You know, what I want to tell you is, God puts in you the gifting that is needed to fulfill that purpose. And I have seen in my life, there is tremendous satisfaction when you are following that purpose. And I'll tell you one more interesting thing. I think it's... My son told me AC will be there, so please wear a jacket. So, you know, as long as you do not find your purpose and your right fit, you will be going everywhere and realize that you are a misfit there. Have you ever been in a company and felt misfit? I don't belong there. Or sometimes, you know, one of my friends, okay, he comes from a middle class family, and, a little lower middle class family. He put his daughter in an international school just because he knew somebody, he got a free seat. He put her over there, and that child was never happy because she realized she does not fit in there. So when you don't fit in there, instead of realizing who you are, you try to fit in. That's where the problem comes. All friends are smoking and you don't smoke, and then you feel that you are not accepted over there. Peer pressure, he told. So you want to. Or you just want to do things to be fitting in that company, which you are. Can you imagine a monkey in the company of whales? Can't. How much ever he tries to learn swimming, he can't be like that. It's not possible. See, you need to realize who you are, and that's the only place where you can feel satisfied and you can be feeling fulfilled. Let me tell you, the depression also comes in when you are trying to do what you are not meant to do. I mean, see, my son, okay, he'll come tomorrow. My son, see, I'll tell you, I'm a doctor. My father is a doctor, my mother is a doctor. My wife is a doctor, okay? Her father is a doctor, mother is a doctor. Father's father a doctor, mother's mother a doctor. Brother a doctor, okay? I mean, we can find almost 40 doctors. So, when he finished his 10, where do you think we will put him? By PC? We put him there. Because that's what... I mean, so he was doing quite well. He was in that Chaitanya Central Jail. Chaitanya Junior College. Okay. In Maratpalli campus, that is meritorious campus, star batch. He was 5th from top. One fine day he calls up and says, Dada, I don't think I'm meant to be a doctor. I mean, in our family, you can't think of anything other than a doctor. So, he said that I'm doing well, but I don't find joy in doing it. I said, are you, trying to escape the hard work? He said, no, Dada, I'm not finding passion for it. He began to talk about it. Then we took help of some people and then, spoke to him, prayed with him. And from there, he shifted to BA Mass Communication. For someone, it may look like, oh, from there you went there. But it's not that. Not at all. Don't think one course is greater than the other course. It is about the passion. And I tell you, after he went into that, I began to see a change in his personality beyond my imagination. He began to blossom. He began to excel. He was always ahead of even his teachers. And then, you don't see, the first job he got was at the age of 19 when he finished his degree. First job was in Microsoft working on Roo. Has anybody heard about Roo? Roo was a chatbot, AI chatbot. Okay, that was the first employment he got. See, the point is, when you find the place of your passion or your purpose according to your gifting, it is natural that you will excel. Natural. I'm telling you, it becomes natural to excel in it without strain. I'm not telling without hard work. Hard work will be there. But see, for example, I am a teacher. I'm a Bible teacher. Okay? I have taught 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours in a day and not got tired. Of course, I don't know whether people would get tired of it. My speaking. And boring, right? Yet? Not yet. Okay, thank God. So because, thank you. So far, so good. So, you know, the thing is, that is what God put inside of me. And when I use it, it is not like a work at all. At all. And I see, I'll tell you, can I tell you one important thing that I learned? I have my notes, but I have not even opened my notes yet. I'll go to that later. But I'll tell you one important thing. Never, ever think of working for money. Let me repeat. Never, ever think of working for money. Never. You know what? Money is supposed to happen. What I mean to say is, money must always be a byproduct. Work to exercise your skill. Work to exercise your skill. Money will come running behind you. Always. I'm telling you, I have seen that in my life. In 1998, I took a decision. Okay, I'm not telling you to take that decision, okay? But I took that decision. I will not charge anything for my medical advice. Free. And I tell you, I did not lack anything, did not beg, borrow, or steal. I have seen money coming behind me, and I know that that is the principle. See, there are certain principles you cannot change. If you put your hand in fire, what will happen? I mean, you don't need a rocket science for that. That's a principle. You put your hand in fire, it will burn. You put water in the freezer compartment, it will freeze. I mean, that's what that machine is meant to be. See, there are these certain principles in life. And one of these principles is, when you set out to fulfill the purpose for which you are created, money will come behind you. You try and see. I can write a bond paper and I can give it to you. And more than that, you know, see, one of my patients was a very, 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 very rich man, ultra rich, from a very big industrial house. And then this is what he said exactly to me. Doctor साहब, मेरे पास बहुत पैसा है, बेतुका पैसा है, तुम सोच भी नहीं सकते उतना पैसा मेरे पास है, लेकिन मेरे को नींद नहीं आती डॉक्टर साहब, दिल में खाली खाली लगता है डॉक्टर साहब. Why? Of course, why he doesn't have peace? No, why you have 100% legal money? Why will you be? कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. He worked for money, but you know what? He was not satisfied because he lived his life but did not get to do what he is created to do. You know, passionate people, they do not get distracted. Passionate people do not get distracted. I tell you, people who are distracted, you find out about their life, they are not passionate about anything. Nothing. They just want to feel happy. They just want to feel pleased. They just want to be satisfied and miss out on the real thing that can bring satisfaction to their lives. Broken relationship. See, I'm how many of you have experienced heartaches in broken relationships? Okay, you don't need to lift up your hands. You don't need to tell. But you know why? Why? The whole aim is wrong. I'll tell you one thing. You know, especially in your age. Anybody about 25? Okay. About 30? Okay. You know, anybody tells you, I love you. You know what exactly it means? If anybody tells you, I love you, what does it mean? you make me feel good. Isn't it? As long as you make me feel good, I love you. The moment you stop making me feel good, I don't love you anymore. It's all about you. But I'll tell you, if you just change that focus from you to what God has created you to do, none of these things will matter at all in life. Nothing will matter. And you will be happy. It's not being alone and happy. It's nothing about that. I'll tell you, you can be alone and happy, and you can be in the midst of thousands of people and unhappy. Feel lonely. Have you ever felt in a group lonely? Because you don't click in. I'll tell you, you're not meant to. What you need to do in life is find why God has created you. I do not know what your faith is. I do not know what your belief is. I do not know what your background is. But whoever you might be, from wherever you might have come, you need to ask this question to Creator: why did you create me? And that, seeking that will begin to unfold things in your life which are even beyond your comprehension. I am a happy man. I'm telling you, I am a happy man. It's not that I don't have problems, but I am a happy man, not because I enjoy what I am doing, but because I am getting to do, I chose to do what I enjoy. After I left my profession, my father, who is a doctor, he would come to visit me. And as a father, one of his concerns would be, how am I surviving? We had just bare minimal in my house, but that's not what background I came from. We had overflow. So my father asked me, how much you make per month? I would say, this is this is not even 1% of what you could have made. But my answer would be, but I am happy. This happened for a few years. One fine day, he came to me and said, I have met all your cousins. I've seen their life, and I can tell you, you are the happiest. I said, aur kya hona? I'll tell you that satisfaction is something which is far more important than any of the other feelings, and only thing that can satisfy you is you doing what you are meant to do. Now, the question comes, how do I find it? How do I find my purpose? How do you think you can find it? How do you think you can find your purpose? Any idea? How do you think you can find your purpose? Asking? Finding the passion? Sometimes what happens about the passion? See, in my village, from where I came from, in my group, everybody used to play cricket a lot. And I began to, enjoy cricket along with them, until one day, somebody by mistake gave in my hand a table tennis racket. And I began to realize all that I was thinking passion was only because everybody else were passionate about it, and I wanted to be passionate about it. But this table tennis was my passion. So, see, I'll tell you, your passion is not what somebody else's passion is. And as you said, your name? Prince said, it's very important, you need to ask. Now, the second question, whom should you ask? At least for that one thing, my brothers, my sisters, my friends, you need to come to God. Have you ever wondered, why are you on this face of the earth? Just ask. And, it's like, see, Steve Jobs, the Apple guy, he had a vision for the company. You know the story of that? How many of you have seen that movie about Steve Jobs? See, in between, it so happened that the board became too powerful and they kicked him out. Okay? And, though he was the founder, though it was his vision, see, that other CEO they hired, and the company started going down. So they had to pull him back. You know why the company started going down? Because they had diverted from the initial vision. Only the founder knows the vision with which everything was started. Only God knows why He has created you. Look at us over here. We come in different sizes, different shapes, different colors, different hair. I mean, all of us are different. Do you realize, what decides the value of anything in this world? What decides the value of anything in this world? The uniqueness, yes. And there is one more important word that can be used, is rarity. How rare it is. Now, think about yourselves. Rarest of the rarest things ever found on the face of the earth. There is nobody else like you. Nobody else like you. Nobody. Our lives, we do not realize how precious they are, and therefore we begin to run behind things which are of no value. I'll tell you. Now, if I bring forth before you a lemon seed, okay? What do you see? A lemon seed, correct? Now, when I sow that lemon seed in the ground, what will come out? So, what was inside that lemon seed? Not even memory. It was actually the lemon tree. The lemon seed comes with a lemon tree, but unless that lemon seed is sown, you will not see that lemon tree. But remember, I'll tell you, it's not just the lemon tree that comes forth. That lemon tree will have lemons on it. Those lemons will have seeds in it. Those seeds will have trees in it. Those trees will have lemons on it. Those lemons will have seeds in it. Those seeds will have trees in it. So what exactly, when you see a lemon seed, what is inside of it? A lemon forest. I'll tell you, every one of you are like that lemon seed. Unless and until you realize that, see, what you see is a seed. What you do not yet see is a potential of that seed. See, in your life, you should know that there is such tremendous potential when it is put in a right place. Do not ever underestimate the power of who you are. You know what, actually? Can I tell you this? Seed's future, listen carefully. A seed's future, it's not ahead of it. Listen carefully. A seed's future, it's not ahead of it. Seed's future is in it. You might be thinking, my future is ahead of me. I need to do something for my future. I need to do something to, look ahead. People also tell you, think about future, think about, what will happen ahead. But where is that? Inside of you. Do you know what is anxiety? How many of you have felt anxious? How do you define anxiety? Anybody? A disturbed feeling, how do you define? Fearful. Can I define anxiety for you? Tension, yeah. Anxiety is negative imagination of what has not happened. Am I right? Now, why are you imagining negative? Why are you imagining negativity? Situation, heavy-hearted. Problems. I'll tell you. The reason you imagine negativity is because what your mind has conceived or what your mind has gathered. You know, advertisement. What is advertisement? Advertisement is a tool by which the manufacturers or the business people make you think the way they want you to think. Isn't it? See, what are they trying to do? Influence your thinking. You know, people talk about, why do you want to live in a rented house when you can buy a house of your own by the loan that we give? I'll tell you the reality. I was living in a nice house, paying 15,000 a month rent, whereas the owner of the house was paying 45,000 a month as an EMI. I got bored of that house, came out of that house, and went into another house. उन्हें 45,000 pay करता है अभी तक. See, you need to think, is it really beneficial? But the knowledge that the world is bombarding on you makes your mind to think according to the world or according to the people. My son, what was hammered into his mind? Your parents are doctor, your grandparents are doctor, your uncles are doctor, your cousins are doctor, your this is doctor, that is doctor. You have no option but to become a doctor. But he chose to put that aside. See, when you come to the Creator who created you, that's the best place you can ever know why you're here on the face of the earth. Sometimes small things, small people, they produce big results because they are doing what they are meant to do. That's all. Satisfied, happy. You don't want to become a copy of a copy. You don't want to become a copy of anybody. You need to become, or you need to be what God has created you to be, or what you are meant to be. I do not know how your mind state is, or how your emotional status is. Sometimes people who are teens is 13 to 19, right? 13 to 19, people, and even after that also, they don't grow out of it. They think, I know everything. And मेरे बाप को क्या पता? I'll tell you. See, we were in my medical college. We were into, not good things. We were just sitting down one day and with friends. So one fellow said, "अरे, अपने बच्चे अपने को उल्लू नहीं बना सकते. अपन सब कर चुके हैं ना." तो दूसरा मेरा दोस्त बोला, मेरा बाप भी वही सोचा था. See, it's like, we think that we know. We think that we know. And when you think that you know, actually you don't know. I'm just trying to encourage you for something. See, I can give you 10-point solution. Like this, you do, you will be happy. Like this, you do, you will be successful. Like this, you do, you will be rich. All those things, some of it, they work. Some of it doesn't work. But what I am talking to you is something, actually, I wish somebody has spoken these things to me when I was in my teens or even in my late 20s, early 20s. I would have been a different person. Different, and I would have been happier. You don't need to wait 10 years to become happy. That the dream is quite elusive. That if I get that, I will be happy. You know what? I thought that I would be happy if I get 13 Pro. I got 13 Pro in few months, 14 was. Release. You see, these things are not what are going to make you happy or satisfied. That happiness and satisfaction will be just for a while. It will go away. But when you are on that right track, there are three questions I would want you to ask yourself. Three questions. Okay? Question number one: who am I? Number two: where did I come from? And number three: where am I going? There were two kids. They were wandering on a road, and one guy found them, and he said, I will help you to go back home. So one guy, he asked one kid, where do you want to go? He told the address. So he helped him. The other guy, he asked, where do you want to go? He said, I don't know. If you don't know, you will never reach where you need to reach. And to need to reach the right place, then you need to take the right vehicle. How much time it takes to reach Vijayawada from Jubilee, say, MGBS? 6 hours. Any other place where you can reach any major place in 6 hours? Solapur. Solapur also 6 hours? Okay? Yeah. You want to go to Vijayawada, and you sit in a bus going to Solapur. You've traveled for 6 hours. Where will you reach? Now, is it a wrong destination? No. No. It's a wrong bus. It's a wrong bus. Bus going to Solapur is not going to take you to Vijayawada. So once you begin to ask God, why have you created me? Who am I? Why am I here on the face of the earth? How am I going to reach where you want me to reach? You will begin to see the right bus or right track you need to take to reach where you need to go. I'll tell you, my dear friends, it's sometimes sad to see people sad. Very sad. I'll tell you, miserable people make everybody feel miserable. Correct? Yes? Have you been with miserable people? Have you been with, sad people? Have you been in a company of sad people? Always 6 o'clock face? How do you feel in their company? You will crack, the funniest of the joke. You can't even, isn't it? They make you also feel like that. Happy people will make others feel happy. Successful people will help others be successful. But you know what? Again, the definition of success for different people is different. Definition of success for different people is different. The sad thing is, people make a definition of success always linked to money. That's the problem. That's not definition of success. See, even achievements also. Being great and being right on top of everybody doesn't make you successful. You know what is actually successful? Are you happy in life? Are you satisfied in life? And I tell you, my dear friends, satisfaction is actually a gift from God when you walk in that purpose for which you are created. It doesn't matter how you look. It doesn't matter how much you have. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. When you're walking in that path, I have experienced in my life. I'll tell you. When I was young, teenager, my father had lots of contacts with Bollywood, and editors and some of the directors and all. So one guy said, give your son, we will make him an actor. My father said, no, not an actor. We want him to be a doctor. all doctor's family. I became a doctor. But I began to find my satisfaction in something else. That's why I am also a pastor. I enjoy. I'm not bothered about money. I'm not bothered about time. Sometimes I work from morning 5:30 to night 11:30 without rest, and I don't regret it. No, I'm energetic. I do it because I am where God wants me to be. My dear friends, you also can be happy. You also can be successful. You also can be satisfied in your life, provided you want to be. And only person that can show you that path is God, who has created you. Before I close, any questions? Any question you can ask. Only thing I might say, I don't know. How to get out of the wrong circle? Just the way you got in. Yeah, I mean it. See, when I was in my medical college, okay, right side room, I was in room number 41, Sangam Hostel, JN Medical College, Belgaum. Okay, 41. 42 was a gold medalist. 43 was a repeater. Repeater, what we would call is, he had failed more than twice. But these guys were like, fun guys, and I chose that friendship and I became a failure. When I realized it's the company, I just shut myself. I said, I need to get involved with the right company. So I had to walk out of that. My decision. It is always a decision. It is always a decision. You see, you eventually will become just like your friends. You'll begin to think like that. So when you realize something is wrong, then you step out of it. It will cause pain. It will cause pain. People will say 100 things. I remember everybody in my friends, they used to pull ganja. Okay? And those who are not pulling ganja, they would say, "Arey jo nahi peeta ganja, wo hai chakke ka bhanja." All those kind of dialogues will be there. Because that company doesn't want to let you go. But you have to push your way out of it. That's the only way. Any other questions? Yeah, go ahead. Correct. Yeah. I'll tell you, not everybody living in a jungle is happy. Some of them are. अरे उनका प्रॉब्लम अलग रहता है. उनको प्रॉब्लम नहीं रहता क्या? See, that's a different thing, they are living more active life, they are eating more natural food and all that thing. But I have seen people in the tribal area who are happy, and there are people who are not happy. I know a lady, okay? I know a lady whose grandchildren are all in top position, IAS officers, IPS officers. There are some of them who own hospitals, grandchildren in America, very rich people. But this lady chooses to live in a hut in a village. I'm happy. But there are so many people who have simply come out of that. I'm not happy. So many. It's about, what your passion is, what you are created for. See, for example, our president, Draupadi Murmu, she comes from a tribal. I mean, she wouldn't have come to the city if she was happy over there. So that's you can be born anywhere, but your purpose could be somewhere else. And that's the only place where you will be happy. Any other question? Feel free. I'll tell you one secret. There are no foolish questions. There are no foolish questions. Any? Yes. We're gone. It is better to be alone than in bad circle then. अरे कुछ भी नहीं यार, तुम आके आ जाओ हमारे घर को आ जाओ. Really, come to my house. In my house is in a jungle. Okay, lots of animals around. Wild animals also are there around. Wild ante, not wild, mild only. But see, the thing is, you have chosen to be in a good company. I'm sure it's a good. It's again a choice. Okay. See, yeah. ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता. What's your age? Okay. Okay, you've not seen enough. Okay, tell me.
Have you seen the 3 Idiots movie?
Yes.
Do you know about the Rancho also?
Yes.
He lived with their friends.
Yes.
They are not toppers. Rancho is also a bad rancher.
Yes.
He become the top for them.
Amma.
He has the.
He has the. See, do you see anywhere them influencing him?
Yeah, they already told them.
No. Did
He
they?
also got surprised when Rancho.
No. Did they influence him or he influenced them?
He influenced them.
That is what. See, when your company is influencing you, you will become like them. And it is not very easy to stay in a company which is completely opposite of you and not be influenced by it. I was a good boy. मुंह से एक बुरा लफ्ज भी नहीं निकला था. Not a single bad word. But after I went to medical college, A to Z. But if you are really so good like Rancho, where you can influence others, wonderful. But I'm telling you, that is only in the movies. Movie is a dream world. Dream world. Do you think Amir Khan is a happy man? Okay. That's a reality. That's a movie. Or वो कौन थी उसकी? Kareena Kapoor. I've seen, one of the very famous heroes of Tollywood industry. Okay? Very famous heroes, comedy hero, many super hits he gave. He was a good friend. Okay? Now, of course, we haven't met for a long time. I remember once he came to my house to meet me. My mother-in-law was there, I was not there. So he called me, I said, "Are, jara ruko." My mother-in-law didn't know what a famous man he is. He said, "Beta, वो सिलेंडर उधर है, मेरे से उठाया नहीं जाता, जरा उठा के उधर रखो." बेचारा, he lifted it up and he kept it there, fixed it for her, cleaned that area around for her. That's his goodness. He makes everybody laugh. But he's such a mess. Sad means sad. But everybody laughs. I mean, this is with my own eyes I have seen. So that movie life is different. What they show is different. What the reality is completely different. I have known personally few film stars, good stature film stars. None of them are happy. For different reasons. Because though they might have found their passion, but there are other factors also that it goes somewhere else. But if you can be an influence, wonderful. But मुश्किल है. See, I'll tell you, what happens is, what do you mean by a bad friendship? Are they bad only because they drink and smoke and do drugs?
If they have bad heart, then they are.
Yeah, bad heart is one part. I'll tell you what is a bad company. Bad company is the company that diverts you away from your purpose. That's a bad company. It has nothing to do with habits. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's a company which diverts you away from what God has purposed in life. In Bible there is an example of a man called Samson. Okay? he got into a bad company of a woman called Delilah. Now, why is she a bad company? Because she took him away from the purpose of God. There was a man called David. You know, he was, Bible tells that he became a leader of all waste people. But what happened is he led that waste people to fulfill their purpose in life. So it's about being diverted away from the purpose. That is what the bad company is. If you are, you know, I have a friend, Dr. Prem Soman. He is one of the top cardiologists in US now. That guy, anytime we say, "Arey Prem, chalo movie jayenge," jayenge. Just wait for half an hour. Okay? Anytime we said, "Arey party hai, chalo jayenge," wait for half an hour. Kya karta? He would go back to his room. Okay? He would revise what was taught that day and then come and join. So for him, the priority was his studies, and none of the friends were able to divert him away from that study. He was focused upon the purpose. So when you're focused upon the purpose, friends' influence over your life will be limited. When you are not, फिर गया काम से. Friends बुला रहे हैं, जाना है, ये वो उसमें चले जाते, because there is no purpose. Got my point? Any other question? Okay. How to keep calm? See, now calmness of mind, when do we get frustrated? Generally, I mean, there are many reasons. Now about calmness of mind, like I was coming now, and I started actually, I was supposed to reach here by 10:30. Okay, so I started at 9:20 from my house, and it showed 1 hour 7 minutes. Okay, but then on the way there were so many traffic jams that for a moment I began to think, will I reach at 11? Now, you can get frustrated thinking about, you know, what is happening. I'm not able to reach, I may miss my flight, or I may miss the session. So as your goal keeps getting obstructed, then the frustration begins, or the calmness is lost. But to be able to maintain calmness even in the adverse situation, I have learned one principle. Okay? Remember, one thing is guaranteed, that is change. Correct? Everything will change. Whether you like it or not, you will change, people will change, situation will change, everything will change. There are two types of changes in life. Number one, change that you can bring. Aren't there changes that you can bring? About your lifestyle? Okay, you can bring a change in your hairstyle, you can bring a change. In so many places you can bring a change. Okay. Now, when that change is in your hand, you can make mistakes. But there is another kind of change which is out of your control. Have you seen changes which are out of your control? Like, for example, traffic today, it was not in my control, correct? Or, you know, one fine day, our dear Prime Minister announced demonetization. Change. Is it in your control? Not in your control. So, remember this principle. Remember this principle always. When the changes are not in your control, trust God about it. You know, you might find it difficult. How can I trust God about it? But think about it. Can you change it? You can't. But when, you know, there is a scripture in the Bible which I like very much, very much. He says, all things work together for good for them that love God and who are the called according to his purpose. What that means is, when you are walking in the purpose for which you are created, everything will work together for your good. For example, chicken curry. How many of you like chicken curry? Everybody likes chicken curry. Okay? Now, to make chicken curry, you need many things. First of all, what you need? Chicken. Can you eat raw chicken? No. Masala. Can you eat masala? No. Oil. Can you drink? No. But when you mix it all together, can you eat? No. It has to be cooked. Okay? Now, you know what? That fire has to be there. But ultimately, when everything is mixed, which you can't handle on your own, together under the heat, means under even sometimes discomfort, it brings forth what is good. That understanding is what can keep you calm. See, I have done, meditation, yoga. I have done for a long time, and I used to experience that peace at that moment. But when you are out of it, everything is gone. But when I began to understand this, I went through struggles. I went through very, very difficult times. But in the midst of all that, I began to be calm because I understood this principle. What changes I can bring, I will work. But what changes are beyond my capacity, I will just trust God about it. That's the only answer I can give. Otherwise, there are things you count until 10. कितना देर रहता वही चले आता वो calmness. But when you understand, it is very difficult to disturb you. Any other questions, or shall we? Yeah. Hard work. You have a passion, you have a purpose, but you can't sit at home and achieve anything. You need to have hard work. No replacement for hard work. What can you do to deviate from? I found my passion. You know what? I'll tell you. One day, I was in the hospital, okay? And one of the patients that came to me was a very old Muslim lady, who comes from a very, very rich background. But she was diabetic. She came without chappal. Okay, and she came in an auto. She can come in Mercedes, but she came in auto. And there were bubbles on her feet. It is called as diabetic bullous lesion. So it's like a advanced case, neglected. So I asked her, Amma, खुद का ख्याल क्यों नहीं रखते? Then she said, जी के क्या करना बेटा? जीने के लिए कुछ आशा ही नहीं है. That day, something struck in my heart, and I realized there are people in this world, doctors, who can treat the body. But what people need to live a happy life is a proper hope which cannot fail. I cannot give faith to anybody. But if I can give hope, I have done my job. Now that was one incidence. See, for example, can I ask you one question frankly? Will you answer? Now I'm speaking to you. Aren't you feeling happy? Yes? No? अच्छा लग रहा ना? See, you know what is that? Your heart is accepting what I spoke to you from my heart. This is something which can change your life. Okay? Got it? Anybody else? Shall we close? But I just want to give, you want to ask something? One day is not enough? Okay. Then I'll come again. So, can we do a small exercise if you don't mind? Okay. I just want you to close your eyes for a minute, and think about it. Who am I? where did I come from? Where am I going? Who am I? Where did I come from? Where am I going? I want you to think about this, not just throughout this camp and even in the future. And the Creator who created you is the only one who can give you the right answers for this. You can ask God who created you, who am I? Where have I come from? Where am I going? Why did you make me? Why did you send me? Why am I here? Father, I thank you for every one of my friends here. Bless them, help them, guide them, and lead them in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
So are you getting some good pointers from Eureka? Okay. We are men who've been through all that you've been through. Let's take this out. Maybe that guy who's wanting to come. Okay. Now, I know you people would have loved Sushruth to continue the talk, but we have to go with our timetable, right? He's going to come back. So, is that hope? Okay, all right. I would like now that you people have got a hang of what we are doing in Eureka. Peter Samuel talked about the purpose of life. Vincent Vinod talked about it. And now comes also from Dr. Sushruth. Now what I would like you all to do is, we can break for lunch, but each of you take your book, you have some pages there, ask yourself this question what he just gave. Who am I? Where am I going? What's the purpose of my existence or purpose of life? Can you put down those questions and come up with your answers? We will pull them all together. You don't have to tell me your name, just to respect your identity. We will pull these all and then we will give it to our resource persons and see how people are thinking here and how we can really guide them to the right source. Okay? So please take time after lunch and put them down, or maybe on a piece of paper. We'll keep a box here or something, just drop them. Then we will collect and see how collectively we can address some of your questions. Right. So if you want to reveal your identity, reveal. If you want to conceal it, conceal it. We respect you. Okay? Yeah, but we are interested in your problem, if we can provide you a solution. Right? So that's it. So it's been an interesting day so far. Excellent. Yeah. More to come, yes. So we don't want people to miss sessions. Right? Afternoon we have a very interesting session, and that's going to be about how to handle our emotions. How to mend those bad emotions that have caused all the defects and the damages in our lives. So we look forward for that. It's okay. Now it's 1:41, so we all break for lunch. You can eat as much as you want, as long as you want, but please come back at 2:30. Okay? If you can cooperate with us, then we'll have a nice one. Then we have some games.